Okay, it's Wes, and today is an exciting day because I'm a huge nerd and I love battery chargers. And we're talking about the new ISDT NP2 Air charger for Sony batteries. This is once again a multi-charger that will allow you to charge FW50 batteries, the FZ100 batteries, and even those tiny batteries for your smaller Sony point-and-shoot cameras. Now you might notice that this is significantly smaller than their previous charger, which was this, the Smart Charger NP2. It also doesn't have a screen. It also costs less. So how is this an improvement? Well, it's complicated. Let's talk about that. This was previously my top-rated charger. It has a screen with tons of information. The only downside of this is that it only charges batteries to like barely 100%. And some people have an issue with this, some people don't. Because when you fully charge a lithium-ion battery, it kind of decreases its overall lifespan every time just a little bit. This may or may not be a concern to you. You know, if you're a professional photographer, you just want batteries to be fully charged. When you use the Sony battery charger, it gets all that in there. So the Sony battery charger, I concluded, was still the fastest battery charger if you want to charge your batteries. But this is expensive. This is almost $100. It's over $100 where I live. But this will give you a full 15-watt charge, whether you like it or not. It'll pound the current into those batteries at maximum speed. Because of the cost, and because of the non-negotiable high-speed charging, I really don't recommend this charger very much to people. And Sony has another 4-battery charger that charges at about the same speed, but 4 batteries, but it's crazy expensive. So I don't like it. I do not like it. This one, it lets you choose how fast you're charging each battery. So it's a regular charge now, or we can go up to the fast charge if we want. And with the fast charge, it will charge each battery at about 10.5 watts. So it's still not as fast if you charge individual batteries in the Sony Charger, which, I could go either way on that. It also gives you battery specs, which lets you see the internal impedance and the health of the batteries. That's pretty cool. So what are we going to get when we move over to this little thing over here? An app, the ISD Link app. So as you can see, the app is currently connected to the ISDT Power 200 charger. I can see the power output of this charger. Right now this charger is actually powering my MacBook Pro. I'll have another video on this if it's not out yet, but I'll show you that soon. I have my NP2 Air here, and we can observe what's going on with it. Right now, nothing at all is going on with it. So let's put in a battery. And there you go, we have a battery that's 26%. Now in my camera, this battery was at 45%. So that percentage is not crazy accurate, but it does, at the very least, let you know how close you are to charging this battery. So it's pretty low. Okay, it's getting a little closer to being accurate now, 31%. And we are at a basic charge, and it is currently drawing 8.3 watts of power. Yeah, you can see it in the app here, 8.8 watts. Let's put in another battery. So the reason that we're using this ISDT Power 200 as a power supply for this charger is we want to make sure that it can get all the power that it can possibly want as quickly as possible. All right, we've got 2 batteries in it now. We're drawing a total of 17 watts of power. Can we get higher? Let's switch to quick charge on both these batteries and see what happens. Oh boy. Now we are up to almost 27 watts of power. We're getting much closer to the 15 watts per battery that the Sony Charger provides. When I first got this charger, it would only charge my batteries to like 90%, but because of this Bluetooth connected app, it updated the firmware in this charger, I think 3 times since I got it. And now it charges the batteries a little bit more fully than the previous ISDT charger. So we're getting pretty close to 100% charge. Well, it is 100% by the camera. It's still not quite the super high charge that the Sony Charger gets it. And honestly, I kind of prefer it that way. It's better for the batteries, but it is still more than the previous ISDT charger is. So if that was a concern to you, if you get the firmware updated on this, it is not a concern. So we're charging at a crazy high rate. I'm going to turn this down because I don't really need to fry my batteries. I would rather charge it at a more reasonable pace here. There we go, we're down to less than 10 watts per battery at this point. Now, what's the downside of this? Well, obviously, if you're not using your app, well, you don't really know where you are in your charge cycle. You just have two blinking yellow LEDs. That's great and all. They will turn red, not when you're at 100%, but when you're about 95%. I would like them to put an option in here to let me change that to 100%. Honestly, sure, it would be healthier for the battery to stop at that point. Now, one great thing about this is I like to monitor my charges, and as I've said before, you don't charge batteries when you're not around, so I can be in another room watching TV, and I can pull up this app and see where my charge is going. I can see we're drawing a normal amount of power. Both these batteries have a moderate level of internal impedance, so they're doing pretty well. And I'll know when my charge is done. As a matter of fact, when the charge is done, if I enable notifications for the app, it will send me a notification to my phone that the charge is done, so I can come back and swap my batteries and charge some more batteries. That is incredibly convenient. But does it outweigh the inconvenience of having no information on the device itself? That's a tough one, and that's one that only you can decide. Another great convenience is some people said this was too large to be a travel charger. I don't know, I would disagree. It's not gigantic, but this one, much smaller. You can charge it in your hotel room very easily, USB-C power. You can be sitting in your bed and you can check your phone to see how you're doing in your charge cycle, whether or not you can put some fresh batteries on here while you're away on your trip. So let me know what you think about this. If you have any questions about the ISDT charger, honestly, it is now my favorite charger because number one, I get a little bit more power in the batteries. Number two, it's better for travel. I can bring this in my car, plug it into the car charger, and charge my batteries on the go real fast during a wedding day if I need to. And number three, this app connection. Since I also have the ISDT Power 200 charger, I have an app that now has multiple devices on it, and because I am a huge electronics nerd, I get to monitor exactly what's going on with all my chargers. I can see how much power everything is using, whether things are working correctly, and honestly, I just like having the data. It's cool to have that kind of data. If this is too much information for you though, too much data about charging and wattage, and that just fills your brain with too much, I still recommend this charger. It works great, but this one is smaller, it is faster, it has more information available to you, and it has Bluetooth connectivity and can be firmware updated in the future, and they've already done that. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. If you think this is ridiculous, let me know, but if you want to buy one of these, there's a link down in the description below to help support this channel and to feed my fat cats. But until next time, stay charged and go take some photos.